Welcome back to Edwin Recapped. Today we gonna explain a thriller and mystery movie, titled, Bad Sister. Warning, spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins with a young man named Jason Brady, who is playing guitar in his room. He is a vlogger, musician, which is maybe the worst combo. After school holidays, Jason and his sister Zoe were escorted to a Catholic boarding school. There, they were greeted by the headmistress, Sister Rebecca. Meanwhile, another sister from the same school observes Jason and his family from the principal's office. The sister was named Sister Sophia. Shortly after, Sister Rebecca returned to her office and greeted Sister Sophia. Sister Rebecca reminds her that every nun must follow the school's policies and regulations. One of these regulations is that a sister cannot use makeup while in school. Sister Rebecca immediately handed her a tissue and asked Sister Sophia to remove her makeup right away. After a short conversation, the headmistress shows Sister Sophia around. At the same time, Sophia also meets Jason, and here we learn that Sophia is going to be Jason's new homeroom teacher. After this, Rebecca shows Sophia her room. In the room, Sophia watches Jason's music video on the laptop, and seeing him, she starts kissing her laptop. This tells us that Sophia already knew Jason and that she had come to the school for some sinister purpose. Sister Sophia can't resist and sneaks into the school dormitory and listens to Jason sing while playing the guitar. Next day, while in class, a student named Sarah flirts with Jason. Sarah is a beautiful and popular girl. Her father was a regular benefactor and had considerable influence on the Catholic Educational Foundation. Moments later, Sister Sophia entered the classroom. She felt jealous of seeing Sarah and Jason's closeness. She then reprimanded Sarah in a slightly intimidating tone. Zoe reminds Sister Sophia that they haven't done their morning prayer, and Zoe noticed that the new teacher doesn't say the prayer with the students. After that incident, Jason and Sarah were back chatting in the schoolyard. Sarah told Jason about Sister Sophia's annoying attitude. Jason didn't say anything, but just as Sarah and Jason were kissing, Sister Sophia suddenly came up to them with an angry expression. She then told Jason to go to the classroom and warned Sarah to stay away from him. After that, she asked Jason to come to her room when school was over. At first, Jason refused because a boy was not allowed to visit a girl's room, especially a nun's room. After school, Jason immediately went to Sister Sophia's room. He saw that the door to her room was slightly open, and when he looked inside, he was surprised by the sight of Sister Sophia. She had taken off her nun's clothes and was wearing only bright red underwear. It turned out that Sister Sophia did this on purpose and pretended not to notice Jason's presence. Jason is turned on but runs away, in the fear that Sister Sophia would catch him peeking. That night, Jason couldn't sleep. Jason could still imagine the attractive Sister Sophia. He even went so far as to imagine himself making out with her, and being immersed in incomparable worldly pleasures. One night, Sister Sophia sneaks into the girls' dormitory when everyone is asleep, and she goes inside Sarah's room and secretly placed a roll of cigarettes in her books. She intended to trap Sarah to get her out of the school. Unexpectedly, Sister Rebecca caught her. Sister Sophia argued that she only wanted to check the security of the girls' dormitory. Sister Rebecca didn't ask any further and immediately left. The next day, Sister Sophia asked the students to open their textbooks. When Sarah opened the book, she found a roll of cigarettes. Suddenly, the incident caught the attention of Sister Sophia and her classmates. Sarah was then led to the headmistress's office. She could only cry and say that the cigarette was not hers, but the school still punished her according to the rules. She was suspended and had to leave school for some time. After this, the entire school and hostel were checked, and a bottle of liquor comes out of Jason's room as well. When it comes time to punish Jason for it, Sophia talks to the rest of the fathers and nuns to give him a small punishment, that he has to help with the cleaning of the school this weekend. Sophia punished him so that he could stay at school that weekend. After that, we are shown the scene of flashback, how Sophia fell in love with Jason. Then Sophia does complete research about Jason and learns that a nun named Sophia has been hired at Jason's school. Then she meets the sister and eliminates her, and she disguises herself as Sophia and comes to Jason's school. On the weekends, both Jason and Zoe stop at the school to clean up. During this cleanup, Sophia helps Jason and tries her best to seduce him. That night, while Jason is sleeping in his room, Sophia walks into the room and turns on her phone's recording and hides it. Sensing someone in his room, Jason woke up and was very surprised to find Sister Sophia there. Sister Sophia then approached Jason and persuaded him to do bang bang. He tries to stop her because he knows it is wrong, but he can't resist her. Jason was finally tempted and they did bang bang thing. The next morning, Jason feels very guilty because he got intimate with a nun. Later, when there is no one in Jason's room, Sophia comes to his room and starts smelling Jason's sweaty clothes. Ew, that's disgusting. Just then, Zoe comes there and caught her. Then Sophia scolds Zoe and then Zoe tells Jason about it. Seeing all this, Sophia gets very angry with Zoe, and she gives low marks to Zoe in the test. After school, Jason intends to confess all his sins. However, Jason was surprised to find out that the person who heard his confession was not the priest, but Sister Sophia. She then entered the confession booth and sat on his lap and both of them got intimate there too. After returning home for the weekend, Jason goes to a party, where Sarah gets close to Jason and starts kissing him. She probably wants some ding-dong from him, but all he can think about is Sister Sophia. And then he stops Sarah from kissing and he leaves the party. While coming out of the party, he had a bottle of liquor in his hand. For this reason, one policeman catches him, but suddenly, Sophia shows up and handles the situation there. After this, Sophia takes him to a hotel. There, Sophia again tries to seduce Jason. Then Jason tells her that whatever they are doing is wrong. Sophia tells him that she wants to be with him for the rest of her life and she also has a lot of money so that both of them can live happily together in Paris. Jason realizes that Sister Sophia is crazy after sleeping with her one more time. And then he angrily scolds her, says he doesn't want to be with her and he leaves from there. Jason is sitting on the side of the road. He calls Zoe for help. She doesn't show up, but his father does, and he supports Jason to focus on his music career. Back at school, Jason finds Sister Sophia unconscious on his bed. In a panic, Jason thought that Sophia ended her life by overdosing on drugs. When he gives her CPR, Sophia suddenly woke up. It turned out that it was a prank to get his attention and sympathy. Jason, who could no longer deal with Sophia's play, threatened to report her actions to the priest and headmistress, but Sophia replied that she too would expose their forbidden relationship to everyone. Jason could only stay silent because he didn't want his father and everyone to know about his depraved actions at school. Moments later, while Sophia was teaching the class, Sister Rebecca suddenly came and stopped the lesson. The headmistress told Sarah to go to class and attend classes as usual, because her sentence was over. Jason and Sarah's relationship was close again. They were often seen alone and affectionately, which ignited a fire of jealousy and anger in Sophia. Sophia then came up with a plan to get rid of Sarah. In the evening, Sophia enters the girls' dormitory and finds Sarah in the shower. She immediately banged Sarah's head against the wall repeatedly until the girl gone horribly. Then she drops a bar of soap on the floor, disguising Sarah's passing as an accident. Moments later, Zoe was surprised when she found Sarah lying face down, covered in blood. She immediately called for help. The police and the rest of the dormitory think Sarah gone from a fall in the bathroom. The dormitory residents gathered at the church. When prayer time was over, Jason approached Sophia and accused her of being the mastermind behind Sarah's sudden end. Even though it was true, Sophia wasn't afraid. She even looked angry and threatened Jason by showing a video recording of the two of them making love. Sophia then threatens Jason if he dares to reveal all her actions. When the weekend came, Jason and Zoe were picked up by their parents. Sophia then planned to meet Jason while he was with his family. She then asked Sister Rebecca for permission to attend her aunt's funeral. Jason and Zoe are having dinner at a restaurant with their parents. To their surprise, Sister Sophia suddenly appeared before them and met their parents. Jason's parents greeted Sister Sophia in a friendly manner. Even Jason's father invited Sister Sophia to have dinner with them. Sophia then took the opportunity to tease Jason secretly by holding his banana under the table. Meanwhile, Sister Rebecca calls the hospital where Sophia's aunt is being treated. She intended to send a bouquet as a sign of condolences. But the hospital did not know the name of the patient mentioned by Sister Rebecca. She began to suspect that Sister Sophia lied to her. After dinner, Zoe urged Jason to tell her what had happened, because he seemed nervous when Sister Sophia had dinner with them. Jason admits to Zoe that he has been sleeping with their teacher. He also is being blackmailed with the sex tape. Zoe tells Jason she thinks Sister Sophia isn't who she says she is. Jason and Zoe are trying to find information about Sister Sophia's real identity. And the brother and sister break into Sister Sophia's room and go through her computer, and fact was finally revealed that her real name is Laura Patterson. Laura purposely got rid of the real Sister Sophia to infiltrate Jason's school and approach him. On the other hand, Sister Rebecca called Sophia to come to her office. Sister Rebecca then exposed all of Sophia's lies and was about to report them to the priest. However, as Sister Rebecca headed for the door, Sophia struck her head, which instantly caused Sister Rebecca to collapse and become unconscious. Jason and Zoe, who were about to report Sister Sophia's true identity, went straight to Sister Rebecca's room. Because there was no answer when they knocked on the door, they finally left, not knowing that Sister Rebecca was unconscious and Sophia was hiding there. Jason and Zoe ended up going to church and meet Sophia. They said that they already knew her real identity, and would report it to Sister Rebecca. Sophia, who was mad because the situation was now on the verge, immediately knocked Zoe unconscious and attacked Jason with a vengeance. Unexpectedly, Sister Rebecca appeared behind Sophia and pulled her away, but Sophia quickly turns things around and attacks Sister Rebecca. Jason took the opportunity by reaching into the screwdriver in his pocket. He immediately stabbed Sophia with the screwdriver. A few months later, all the students were happily graduated. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.